And if the Russians give the Ukrainians an opportunity, the Ukrainians will knock their teeth in. It's a deadly war. The Ukrainians have shown themselves to be very adept, battle-worthy opponents. But heroism alone doesn't win the day. You need numbers, you need logistics, you need command and control. You need all the things that the Ukrainians don't have. So the Russians, are winning. Then in the air, it's not even a contest. Ukraine lacks the ability to provide concerted air defense over strategic targets, important targets, and Russia is able to just pick them off at will. Um, and you combine these two factors, and it's just it spells doom for Ukraine. What's going to happen? Nothing. I mean, what is Europe going to do? The Europeans just acknowledge they can't put troops into Ukraine. They don't have any troops to put into Ukraine. And if they did have troops to put into Ukraine, they can't support them logistically. Um, it's just a pipe dream. Europe can't do anything without America backing them up, and America's not going to back them up. Not on this. So I think what you're going to see a lot of gnashing of the teeth, a lot of pulling of the hair, a lot of bold statements made by, politicians who, better take a look in their rearview mirror because their political base is crumbling in each one of their respective countries. I don't see Macron, Starmer, or Merz lasting much longer. The German economy is in free fall. Great Britain's on the verge of open revolt, and France isn't much better. And these are the people that are supposed to rally and somehow build a viable European army. We know they don't have a European army. That's why I think von der Leyen said in a recent speech that the Ukrainian army is the first genuine European army. Really? Because we trained them, we equipped them, and now we have to know how to use them properly. Gosh, I mean, how would you feel to be a Ukrainian knowing that you're dying for some European dream and it's not about Ukrainian sovereignty, it's not about Ukrainian independence or, Ukrainian democracy or anything about Ukraine at all. You're simply a tool built by the Europeans that the Europeans will use and abuse to suit the interests of Europe, not Ukraine. This is the reality. Europe can do nothing. There is nothing Europe can do anything with. Russia's victory is inevitable, and it's going to occur on terms that will be acceptable to Russia.
You just heard Scott Ritter, former U.S. Marine Corps intelligence officer, UN weapons inspector, and one of the most credible military analysts on the planet, deliver a brutal truth. Russia's victory in Ukraine is inevitable. And he didn't say it with glee. He said it with resignation. Because the facts are undeniable. The Ukrainians may be brave. They may fight hard. But heroism doesn't win wars. What wins wars? Numbers, logistics, command and control, air superiority. And Ukraine has none of it. Let's unpack what Ritter said and why this moment reveals the inevitable collapse of the Western war effort. Ritter starts with a rare acknowledgement. If the Russians give the Ukrainians an opportunity, they'll knock their teeth in. That's not propaganda. That's respect. The Ukrainian soldier has proven to be battle-worthy, tenacious, and courageous. But as Ritter makes clear, heroism alone doesn't win the day. Because war isn't fought in moments of courage. It's fought in months of attrition. And in that long grind, the side with the deeper reserves wins. And right now, Russia has the manpower. Russia has the industrial capacity. Russia has the logistics. Russia has the air dominance. And Ukraine? It has bravery and little else. Ritter drops a key truth. In the air, it's not even a contest. Because Ukraine has no real air defense over strategic targets. Power plants, factories, rail hubs, command centers. Russia picks them off at will. And there's nothing Ukraine can do. No advanced fighters, no stealth bombers, no long-range strike capability. Just a shrinking stockpile of aging missiles and Western hand-me-downs. Meanwhile, Russia controls the skies. It flies deep into Ukrainian territory. It launches hypersonic missiles. It conducts precision strikes. And Ukraine watches, helpless. That's not a war. That's a slow motion collapse. Then Ritter delivers the coup de grace. Europe can't do anything, and he's not exaggerating. Ask yourself, will Europe send troops to Ukraine? No, they've already admitted they don't have any. And even if they did, they can't logistically support them. No fuel, no ammunition, no medical evacuation, no secure supply lines. And why? Because Europe's military is a fiction. There is no European army. There is no unified command. There is no strategic depth. And worst of all, Europe depends on the U.S. for everything, from intelligence to weapons to fuel. And right now, America isn't backing them up. Not on this. So what do European leaders do? They gnash their teeth. They pull their hair. They make bold statements while their political base crumbles beneath them. Because the people see the truth. They see their economies collapsing, energy prices soaring, inflation destroying lives, and all for a war they never wanted. And Ritter doesn't hold back. I don't see Macron, Starmer, or Merz lasting much longer. Because they're not leaders. They're puppets, and their time is running out. Then Ritter reveals one of the most disturbing quotes in recent memory. Ursula von der Leyen said the Ukrainian army is the first genuine European army because we trained them, equipped them, and now we must use them properly. Let that sink in. Europe, with 450 million people, has no real army. But Ukraine? It's now Europe's army. And the Ukrainian soldier? He's not fighting for Kiev. He's not dying for sovereignty. He's not defending democracy. He's dying for a European dream. One that has nothing to do with Ukraine. He's a tool, built, equipped, used, and eventually discarded. That's not alliance. That's exploitation. And if you're a Ukrainian soldier reading this, you'd ask, why am I dying for Brussels? And there's no good answer. Ritter ends with a final, sobering truth. Russia's victory is inevitable, and it will occur on terms acceptable to Russia. Not the U.S., not NATO, not the EU. Russia, because the West has no plan, no exit, no leverage, and no credibility. Sanctions failed. Weapons shipments failed. Regime change failed. And now, even the narrative is collapsing. Because the world sees. Ukraine is losing. Europe is broke. The U.S. is distracted. And Russia is holding firm. And in war, the side that endures wins. And Russia will endure. Because it has to. Ukraine? It doesn't. And the West? It can walk away. But Ukraine can't. In conclusion, Scott Ritter gives us a rare and unfiltered look at the real state of the war in Ukraine. Not propaganda, not hope, but geopolitical reality. Ukraine is not winning. It's not even surviving. And Europe? It's not a power. It's a delusional bystander, using Ukrainian lives to prolong a losing war. But history doesn't care about narratives. It cares about facts. And the fact is, Russia is winning. And when it does, the world will have to accept a new order, one shaped not by Washington, but by Moscow. Stay tuned for more analysis right here on The Informed Perspective. Until next time, stay informed and think critically.
No, we don't have an effective foreign policy at all. Our diplomatic capacity is absolutely almost non-existent. The president himself relies on ad hoc friends and friends of the family to be official or unofficial envoys. We don't have a diplomatic corps that is stable. We just had the senior U.S. Diplomat in Denmark summoned because of U.S. meddling in Greenland, which is quite apparent, where Trump says he wants Greenland, even though it's a part of Denmark, and he doesn't rule out any options to take it. Denmark is not exactly an enemy of the United States traditionally. It's part of NATO, it's part of a U.S. alliance, but it is completely vulnerable to and at odds with the United States right now. We simply don't have diplomacy. Everything is utterly ad hoc. Terrible mistakes are being made, really shocking mistakes, even from the narrowest U.S. interest point of view.